Yeah, hi everybody. Today, I'm explaining the topic about the Hortonworks distribution. Uh, Hortonworks distribution is one of the major distribution when it comes to big data platform. So basically, in the data engineering or big data platform, basically we have the distributions in the current market industry. So one is like Hortonworks distribution and second one is like cloud era distribution, and third one is about mapper distribution. So these are the three major distributions when it comes to hot big data platform. Why? What is the use of these distributions? Is basically like during initial days, Apache Hadoop has was introduced to support the big data platform, like to support the parallel distribution of the data and parallel storage and parallel processing. Even if the huge number of data is processing, it's like whether it is data is coming from the structured format or unstructured format or a semi-structured format, irrespective of whatever the data format it has, it used to support. So plain initial days, they have developed something called as Apache Hadoop, and or else it will call as the vanilla Hadoop. So the both are same. So basically, this supports like one this CLI based model. It's like command line interface. There will be no vendor support. So to overcome this problem, they have each vendor has developed three distributions, like Hortonworks team has developed Hortonworks distribution, and Cloud Era company has developed Cloud Era distribution and Mappa distribution. So Hortonworks, under this video, I will be explaining about the Hortonworks installation using AWS Cloud with the public repository. So this is the agenda to explain how to install the Hortonworks distribution using AWS Cloud with help of public repository. So to install the Hortonworks distribution, let's talk about just overview about the Hortonworks architecture. So Hortonworks is one of the distribution when it comes to big data platform, and this will provide you the web-based GUI console to monitor and monitor and manage the Hadoop cluster. So when I use the cluster means it's a group of machines which are integrated in the one single network. So that is why we used to call it as a Hadoop cluster. So to manage all these administrative tasks like installations, configurations, map upgrades, and if you want to restart any services after installation, so those things you majority of the tasks which we can able to perform by using web-based GUI console. So this video I will be installing about the SDP latest version, SDP 3.0, and number is 2.6 or 2.7. I did not remember the exact version. Then these are the three things. So I will explain you what is the Ambari and what is the SDP 3.0. Before that, I will explain about the Hortonworks distribution architecture. So what is like we will be having something called as Ambari server and Ambari agents. So these are the two major components when we talk about the architecture overview. So Ambari server is it's like to manage web-based console. Uh, to install the Hadoop cluster, to install the Hadoop ecosystem tools, and to install the Hortonworks distribution platform, all those things, to manage all those things, we require something called as web-based GUI. So those that to manage those things, we require something called as web-based GUI. That one they put it as name as Ambari. So next one is SDP. SDP is stands for Hortonworks Data Platform. This is basically with supports the all the Hadoop ecosystem tools like Scoop, Hive, JP, and MapReduce, Yarn, and some more things like H catalog, all HBase, and other Kafka, Spark, whatever Hadoop ecosystem tools which will be used to in the form of they will provide in one form of tarballs. So those are the package services which will be available. Some more additional packages like HTTP utils. So agent, so Ambari server is having this one, and the Ambari agents will be in a separate machine. So Ambari agents, what it does is it will collect the health state information, and it will send the health report to the Ambari server. It will be health and fine. It will be up and running fine. So how Ambari agent will be connected to the Ambari host is, so in Ambari agent we will be having some configuration file, something called as Ambari agent.ini. So .ini file that I will show you practically during installation. So in this it will find the there will be a server name address there by default when we install the initial. It will be having local host. So this local host we have to change it to the Ambari server, that particular machine IP address, so that Ambari agent can understand that with help of that IP address, it will go and contact Ambari server, and it will give the health status information. So this is something about the overview about the Hortonworks distribution in the Blick platform. So in this video, I will be explaining about the installation and the configuration of the Hortonworks distribution. So for that, I will be doing this thing using Hortonworks distribution. So I will be explaining this thing like autonomous distribution installation using public repository. So here I have opened two AWS instances. For that, first you open the AWS cloud instance, and you have to connect to the AWS instance. So so first let's log into the AWS web-based console. That is like first we have to log in into the AWS console. Uh, One second, it is connecting to the Amazon web. So after that, I will be connecting to these two things. Sign in so that you will be connected to the AWS EC2 Amazon these things. So we require to before installing anything like Hortonworks Loader or any software, we require something called as either virtual machine or else some other thing cloud platform to set up the to install Hadoop or any other technology software. So in Amazon is providing one of the service which is called as EC2 Elastic Computing Cloud, which I will be using to use the to install the Linux operating system. On top of Linux operating system, I will be installing the Hortonworks distribution. So to install all those things, we require some of the services which is nothing but EC2. So I will be using this EC2 service. This is similar like virtual machine when it comes to virtual machine platform. It's like VMware or Oracle VirtualBox or something called as Microsoft Hypervisor. So these are all the some of the virtual machine technologies. So this is the same similar like it will be similar like that. It will be worked, but it is in the cloud platform. So I have clicked on EC2 instances. Now I will be opening a launch instance. So it will allow you to install the Linux operating system. So I will be using we will use our customized Amazon machine image. This is something like ISO image file. For every operating system we will be having something called as ISO image file. But Amazon machine, when we log in with AWS console, by default if you click on EC2 instance, then after that it will ask you Amazon machine image to select. So I will be using this one, Red Hat Linux. So this is required. So this one, and the minimum prerequisites like I do not using 1 GB and 1 core CPU RAM, but I will be using T2 large, which is required 2 CPUs and 8 GB memory, which is because Autonomous distribution we require minimum 2 GB 8 GB memory and 2 cores. Otherwise it is very difficult because it will we require a lot of resources will get in that. So two instances I will be launching. One is for Ambari server and another is for Ambari agent. That's why I selected two agents, two instances. Now I'm selecting the 20 GB volume to do these things. Next is next add and these things. Tag is not required. If you want, you can define the tag. Next is configuring the security group. So what is the security group which you want to create? So I will be creating one custom security group. By default, yes, Amazon will allow only SSH port, that is a secured shell. It will work on transmission control protocol 22 port number. So I will be using one more rule, adding all traffic, so that it will allow you inbound traffic and output traffic and anywhere in these things. This is just for practice purpose. You just you add one more rule saying that all traffic and anywhere these things. After that, what you do is you will click on the launch instance. So that our once you click on the launch instance, it will ask you to create a new pair or the old one if you want to exist. This key pair is basically a PEM file which will be like similar like a password. If you want to access anything, you require username and password, right? In the similar way, AWS in cloud, what it does when we launch the EC2 instance, before launching, it will ask you to create a new key pair. So with help of this key pair only, you can able to launch again next time if you want to use the same EC2 instances. This key pair will be generated in the form of .pem file. It will be having some private key algorithm in the encrypted format, which we cannot understand. That is fine. Just you use Balaji underscore Ambari, some name you can give, and click on download key pair. After that, it will be downloaded into the, obviously it will be downloaded into the download folder. Just click on launch instances. Okay, once we click on launch instances, you just drag down and you will be click on view instances. There will be a two machines which will be ready. So one is to T2, this is the T2 large instance type. One, it will be having two CPUs and 8 GB RAM, and another EC2 instance also same type, two EC2 instance. Make sure that status check is pass, and also check that both subnet and VPN and all those things is security groups should be under the same subnet and VNet. And also, if you stop and if you restart this EC2 instance next time, what will happen is this public DNS and public IP will get changed. If you don't want to, you have to go with some other elastic IP you have to configure, but that I will not be explaining in this one. So first one, I will be configuring with the Ambari server. I will be just defining one name, and here I will be defining something called as Ambari client. So once I have defined these things, what I do is there will be one software I have installed already. So git bash. So with help of this git bash, I will be connecting to this thing. Okay. So once you have done this, just come here, CD downloads. You just click here, then after that clear. After that, you go to the file where that .pem file is present. So this is the one which I have created the pem file. Create new pem file. This one you will be happy if you want to see the you can see Balaji underscore Ambari dot pem file. You can able to see in the targeted. So this is the encrypted format. This is just like a created some key, private key to access the AWS cloud next time. So that one is there. So what you have to do is next you have to click on connect. So that it will be Amazon only, it will provide, this is the one. So what you do is you just click this thing and click on this one and click OK, so that you can able to connect to that EC2 instance. First time it will ask, are you sure you want to connect? Yes. So then it will ask you, it will be connected to this one. Okay, now you can able to see EC2 hyphen user. So when you use Red Hat Linux Amazon machine image, by default it will be used, not root user. It will be with the EC2 instance, and this is the IP address. So this is the IP address of similar to the IP address here. You can able to see in the down. If you click down, if you go a little bit down, so 39,853, and 53, and this is also same thing, 30, 3188-53. Okay, now what we have to do is every time if you run any Linux command, so you require a sudo thing because you logged in with EC2-A. Rather than that, we better switch it to the sudo su-. If you switch this thing, then you can able to with the Linux root user account. And again, one more git bash window for the Ambari agent server side. Again, go to the CD downloads, then click finger, just type an LTR, the PIM there or not, just check it. It's there. Then after that, just again connect to this one and go to Ambari client, click on connect, then just use this thing, the same command, just control C and control V, copy and paste it. Then you can able to first time when it will ask this password, it will be connected with the EC2 hyphen user. Then you just switch it to the sudo hyphen su means switch user hyphen a means it will be connected directly with the cd/root directory. So if you don't use a hyphen, it will be connected to with root, but not with the slash root. That's why we require sudo su hyphen is also required. So that is the one. So I have two machines ready, and two, one is Ambari server and another one is Ambari agent, and I have opened this one also. Next is this is the document I have maintained. Now I have connected these things also to APZ to these things. Now we have to do the installation. It is like first we have to run the m update. M update means this is the first we have to update the repository because next time we configured Amazon image. So it is to update these things so that M repository gets latest packages, all those gets updated in your local machine also. It will go and get M is basically a repository, and it will go and fetch that Red Hat Linux community. It will maintain all those things, packages, whatever they maintain. It will go and fetch the latest packages, and it will get updated. So the same thing you run the command in Amari agent machine. M update icon y means it will not ask y or yes or no confirmation. That is why I just put icon y also. So after that, these are the prerequisites which is required to run this thing. Next is you have to install the wget command package. Let's execute these things. It is progressing fine. Let's get it installed. So the architecture is like Ambari is the one, and this is the Ambari server, which we require autonomous distribution. So this is the Ambari, and Ambari one more server will be there, and this thing it will be connected to this one. So it is just like it is just connected to this one, and Ambari server will be this one, and Ambari agent is this thing. So like that, so this will be maintained, and that is why two machines I have configured. So let's wait. Yeah, one is completed, and another one is also completed. So now prerequisite one command is gets completed. Next is you do the similar way, the run the wget command and httpd package and the http. You just copy these things and install these things. So I will tell you what are all these commands, what it does. So wget command is to download the repositories from the internet. So that is why we require wget package to be installed. That is why I have executed wget command. Second one is httpd is like Apache Tomcat web service. Apache web server. So basically, this service is required to place anything in the .repo files or anything softwares, tarball. So we have to configure in the var www.html. That is why this package also required. And another one is like NTP. NTP is basically a network time protocol. So to synchronize the date and the time in the similar manner, both Ambari server and Ambari agents. That is why we require this NTP package also to be installed. So the same package is please install in the client machine also. Just click Control L, just you install these things. So the packages are getting installed. In one is wget and the second one is HTTPD and the third one is like NTP software. So those are all the three packages which I have installed. Next one is I will be installing about the HTTPD service and these things. Since I'm using Red Hat Linux 7, that is why you are seeing a systemctl command. This is the advanced command to the service command. So you have used the same command system created the sibling and the etc system link and also systemctl enabled LTPD. I'm just enabling the service after installing those packages. So you just click run those commands also this thing, and also run the systemctl HTTPD service so that it will be. Yes, this is also done. Next is once you have done these things, then do you have to disable the SC Linux because this is one of the prerequisite because SC Linux means basically a secured enhanced Linux. There are the Linux only by default some policies which will be written. So those policies is like a secured policies. It will not allow to install any other third party softwares or any RPMs, any packages, all those things. So it will stop these things. This is just like a similar kind of firewall. So for that required we have to disable this thing. So what I'm running is set command is just like a string editor. Hyphen I means hyphen I for interactive, I think, and the slash s is a substitute, and sc linux wherever sc linux is equal to enforcing, I'm using sc linux equal to disable. G means global, and in this file I'm doing. So just run this command. Now you can see and this file you can able to see this one is it is disabled. SC Linux equal to disabled. The similar command you run here also, just put Control L, then just run this command. What is the command? Is the single SS, then SC Linux is sensitive, you have to use like that only enforcing, then SC Linux equal to disable slash g, then slash partition, slash is the partition etc, then SC Linux, then just write enter, then see how it is there, cat SC Linux and shift insert. Yes, it is there. SC Linux equal to disabled. It is the changes has been disabled. After that, what you have to do is SC Linux. We don't have anything, so you have to run the firewall command. In like as we are using a Red Hat Linux with the AWS Cloud Platform, we don't require to run this firewall command. So when you use virtual machines, you have to execute that command. So now you have to use is we have to reboot the computer. Better to do this one also. These are all the basically I will explain you why these things is required. Linux operating system critical component is like a kernel module. So sys kernel mmo transparent huge pages enabled sys kernel mmo transparent. What it will do is it will they will be having inside like page in and page out memory pages. By default I think 2 memory bytes or 2 GB or something it will be written. If you don't put this echo never and all those things, there is a chance that it will start writing into whatever the size it required. So rather than that, if you put echo never then greater than sys kernel mmo, there will be this is the one enabled equal to greater than etc rc dot local and just slash etc rc dot local, and it will increase the performance the same thing. So, so you do the same echo command, echo this thing, etc rc dot local. Here also you see there is a slight difference here. If you see enabled and defrag, so here you see. Okay. Just you run the cat etc and the RC means run controller. RC dot local. If you run this, you can able to see these are all the things. Echo never greater than defrag. But two times it is came, that is fine. There is nothing wrong in this. It is highly advised to create a system services. This script will be executed during the boot. So that is why while executing the booting the operating system, this commands will get executed, and it will not create any it will not create any problem to the our distributions, like whatever the distributions which you use. So this is one of the like prerequisite. After that we have to put one more CTS. This is the change kernel parameter. So in Linux we will be having something called as kernel parameter. So vm dot swappiness we have to put it to this thing. What it happen is we will be having like physical memory, and another one is a swap memory. When you are writing any application, when you are running any program, so it will put that program or data into the, while executing it will keep it in a physical memory, that is called a RAM. If it does not have enough space, so it will start writing into the swap memory. That is the swap memory. That is why you are defining this vm dot swappiness equal to 10, means 90% physical memory will be allocated, and 10% is just like this thing. And the slash etc sysctl.conf is like just like a kernel parameter in the Linux operating system. So you run the same command. This is just like also, yeah, to increase the performance, or just like a prerequisite before installing the main software, that is a Horton distribution. So you execute the same command here also. So here you got permission denied. That's fine, because I did not execute the complete command. So run this thing. Yes, now this is also done. After that, I think we have to reboot the computer. Just reboot the computer. Yes. So that all changes, whatever we have done, it gets reflected. Here also run the reboot command. To run the reboot command, it gets rebooted. So now you again you just clear the screen, and here also you just clear the screen. Once you have done these things, so you just keep in mind, here we will be having what one is like agent, another one is a server. So based on the name you can able to, otherwise we can change the host name also. That is fine. I'm not changing any host name, all those things, because this is just a, like a POC cluster for learning purpose. So again you click on connect. This is the server machine. Just click ssh-i, this command .pem file is the command. CSSH-i interactive mode Balaji underscore. While launching EC2 instance, so we downloaded right that PIM file. EC2 Elastic Computing user means since I used Red Hat Linux user, that is why it is using EC2 user. Then after that EC2 that public DNS, that is the, you just click this thing. Yes, this has been connected. In the similar way, you connect to Ambari agent also. Just close this thing and again go to client, then click on connect. Yes. Now after that, what we have to do is we have to the root user, sudo su hyphen here you switch it to the root user, and here also you do use like switch user. Then after that, what you do is you have to execute the repeat the above prerequisites agent machine we have done, and it will be easy to hyphen user. We have changed it to the password PSSWD. Now we have to set the passwordless SSH from the master machine server to the is this thing. So what is just like is here, if you see here we have server, sorry, we will be having one is a server and another one is client. Server is called Ambari server and the client is like a Ambari agent. So server has to connect to the client machine for that without any password. For everything, if you are running any store services, it will ask the password prompt. So this is not advisable. You have to set up the passwordless SSH, which is one of the feature in Linux operating system. So that what it happens is a passwordless SSH. If you set up from master to the slave machine or master to the worker machine, master can connect to the worker machine without any password, and it will do any activities which are required on the worker side. So that is the reason we have to set up the passwordless SSH. To set up the passwordless SSH, what we have to do is first you take this is the server. Please keep it in mind. 3183 8853 is the server and 95 194 is the agent machine. So before setting up the password in AWS cloud, we have to change the password for the root user. So that you have to use PSSWD root user. Then I'm giving password as password only. Then again you just password as password. It will create the yes password has been updated. There will be one configuration file. So sshd underscore configure. So if you done this thing, you will be having something called uh, you just search PSSWD, you can able to see the password authentication. Yes. So if you see here password authentication, you will be having no. So that you have to change it to yes. Sorry, something has changed. Just to go back without saving. Again, open the file. Escape. I insert more. Just click, escape. Then this thing. The password. AU. Not an issue. Again, right. PSSWD. Okay, here password is the authentication is there. You just change it to yes. So that master to password, it will not create any this is just to create an AWS cloud machine. After that, what we have to do is we have to run the SSH service. For that one is systemctl restart SSH. Just run this thing and just check whether SSHD status is running fine. SSHD. Yes, this is the SSHD is running fine. After that, what you have to do is you just go to the server machine and run the SSH hyphen keygen command. Sorry, SSH hyphen keygen. So it will ask you that to save the file in the by default to slash root. Dot means hidden files directories. In ID means RSA. RSA is one of the algorithms which will be used. If you by default if you use SSH hyphen keys and utility, it will use the RSA algorithm which will create some keys so that the private key and the public key and all those authorized keys and the non-host files will be available, so that it will be connected. You just press enter. Again you press enter. You just press enter. So here is the algorithm. With help of this algorithm SSH hyphen keys and utility, what it happened is it has created some keys. Whether the two keys are created or not, how you can just use it, you just go this path and this thing. You can able to see. Yeah. So if you see here ID underscore react, see this is the key has been generated. Begin RSA and public key is created. Suppose if you want to see here only this thing cd slash, you go here. Just press LL. So ID underscore RSA is a private key. If you with extension means dot public key. What we have to do is we have to copy this public key content into the agent machine of authorized machine, so that it will establish the passwordless SSH. That is the concept. So to copy the public key content in Linux, what is the command is SSH hyphen copy hyphen ID hyphen I. Then after that, what is the username you are using? You are using the user password, that is the one, and what is the agent machine IP address, that one you have to give. How you can get the host name is the host name you just this thing and you will get the IP address. Then just give this thing. SSH hyphen copy hyphen ID hyphen IA. This thing, not I think hyphen I is not required. You just remove hyphen I, not required actually. Just remove this thing so that it will copy the public key content. It will ask you to continue. Yes. And what is the password? Password we have set, right? Password is password only. That is why, see, it has been added so that you can able to connect to that particular machine. So you just try again SSH hyphen this. 1 second. SSH, and if you want to connect any other machine from one machine, you just give SSH or host name or that particular machine IP address. See, now you earlier you were in 172.31.83 where now you connected to the 194 without any password. So that is the now that, which means that the password has been set successfully. Again, you just exit. Now you are at again a dot SSH ground. You come to the main path, again cd, just press enter. After that, once passwordless SSH has been configured, then after that, these are all the things I have done already. You don't require to do again. These are all the things I have mentioned here. Pass perfectly, password is working fine. I have tested these things. Now what we have to do is, now with this we have machines ready, and we have done the prerequisites, Linux prerequisites, and Hortonworks distribution prerequisites like kernel parameters, transparent huge space compaction memory to perform to degrade without, so that it will not degrade the performance. So if any other prerequisites, which is always good to recommend, but this is more than enough, as this is just a POC or POC cluster or learning purpose. These prerequisites more than enough to do these things. So now what I am doing is Ambari server side. I will be using the, so as I mentioned earlier, so Ambari server, this is the Ambari server and this is the Ambari agent. Ambari server, when you are seeing something in the web-based console, definitely there will be a one backend database which will store all these information in the some database. It will get the information from that backend database. So Ambari will use the by default custom embedded database, which is called as PostgreSQL. So I will be going with the PostgreSQL with embedded database only. If you want, you can go with the customized database like Oracle, MySQL, Teradata, or whatever it is. I will be showing the demo with the default database, that is PostgreSQL. But however, I will be installing the MySQL database in Ambari agent for some other Hadoop ecosystem tools like Hive, Scoop, HBase, Kafka, not Kafka, some wherever database related activities are there like Ranger, all those things. So whichever is required database, those things Uji, Hui, and those things whichever is required. So that those one I will be using the MySQL database. For that one, what I am doing is in Ambari agent machine, I will be installing the MySQL database. So for that, you have to download these packages. Go to the Ambari agent and run the below command. So that is what I mentioned. You just go to the this one. You just see this is the agent machine 194. You just click sudo wget. Sudo is the super user. It is not required, but wget is the download this package from the internet. So HTTP is the protocol colon www dot this thing will get downloaded. Click this thing. Yes, this has been downloaded. You can able to see. Next command is sudo rpm hyphen ivh. The same thing you install. Sudo rpm hyphen ivh. So what it does is RPM is Red Hat Package Manager, and the IVH means I for install, V means verbose, H means hash. This is the hash it is generating, and the package name dot rpm. When you are using I means you means install, that is why you require dot rpm also. Okay, when you go with the m, I think dot rpm is not required. So if you see here again m, there is not required anything. So as you install some packages, it is always good to recommend the M repository. M is just like a repository which will get the packages from the Red Hat Linux community, and it will get whatever the packages which are available in the backend. It will go and search those packages, and it gets updated in your local repository as well. That is why which is always good to recommend to run the M update command. Okay, this is has been done. Next is sudo -y install MySQL server. So sudo yum install -y MySQL server. Before installing this MySQL server, I have installed two RPMs and I have updated the yum repository. Now I am doing the yum install -y MySQL server. If you put -y here, it is fine, or -y if you put at the end, it will work. There is no nothing. It just it will not ask yes or no confirmation. That is why I'm just installing directly. It is getting installed. Let it get installed. Yes. So yeah, MySQL server has been installed. What we have to do is we require to start the MySQL server. So to start the MySQL server is sudo systemctl start MySQL D. Why I'm using systemctl is because I'm using the Red Hat Linux. How to check which operating system we are using? Just type this is the command cat red hat release start. Otherwise you can use sorry cat hyphen cat slash e. Yes. Yes, you can able to see cat slash etc start release. There you can able to see the version and what is the Red Hat Linux, which flavor of the Linux you are using. So I'm using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 7.6 MyPo. This is something like community name something. That is the one. So to get that is the command. So now I'm going back to the again sudo yum install -y MySQL server. I think this one I have installed. Now I'm starting the MySQL server. To start the MySQL server, what it is required is sudo is another perhaps is using sudo system start MySQL D is the demo. If you start it, it will get started. Getting executed. Yes, it is executed. Then after that, whether it is started successfully or not, how to check is just check the MySQL D status. It is show that active as running. Yes, perfect. Our MySQL database is packages has been installed and MySQL server has been installed. After that, I have started the MySQL service and I have done that. I have done. Then after that, we have to set the password for the MySQL server also to because to connect to any database we require the username and that password for anything for any application you log in with the banking or net banking anything which we require username and password in the similar manner simply now we have just installed the MySQL server to connect to the MySQL database we require something called as root user and the password for that there will be one command MySQL underscore secure underscore installation you just run this command it will also just press enter and here it will ask to set the root password. Yes, I want to set because I am installing first time. You just click yes, sir. Yes, password is password because I can't remember so many passwords. Password as password. Remove anonymous users. Yes, I don't require any anonymous users to log in. And disable root login remotely. Yes, root user is not required to root login. These are the customized options in the real-time environment. It might be slightly different as this is, as I mentioned earlier, this is just practice purpose and the POC environment. I'm just installing like this. Remove the test database. I don't require test database. Yes you want to reload the privileged tables yes we require now this has been done once this has been done not how you will check is MySQL hyphen u root hyphen p then what is the password I have given. Otherwise you just put this thing and it will ask the password. Yes, I'm perfect. So MySQL server is able to connect. So now I am able to connect to the MySQL database also. After that, it is working fine. That is what I did. After that, what I am doing is I am creating some of the usernames, so databases and passwords. Why means see if you see some of the Hadoop ecosystem tools are there in Hadoop ecosystem tool. Each tool which has its own purpose and advantage. One is like Scoop is there, second one is Hive is there, and the third one is HDFC is there, the Kafka is there. These are all the Hadoop ecosystem tools. Some people will call it as Hadoop services or components. And the Kafka is there, and the Spark is there, Google is there. who is there in Cloudera. We will be having something called as who, and I think in Hortonworks distribution, latest distributions also, who is coming, and Wuji is just scheduling the Hadoop big data jobs. So it is just like a control M and AutoSys and WLM scheduler and tools. And Scoop is just like one of the tool which will be used to ingest the data from RDBMS to Hadoop. Hive is just for data warehousing, data analytics, and aggregation and summarized data to be stored into the Hadoop system, so that data analytics team will use this data for the reporting purpose. HBase is basically to faster index and searching to the this is column oriented database. It's similar to the MongoDB and Cassandra, and Kafka is like real time processing data, and Spark is also like real time and streaming data. Streaming data is nothing but as soon as the messages came live data, then you want to store the data into Hadoop or whatever the storage system is, like cloud, S3, or a Hadoop distributed file system, or any other storage systems. Which is to perform all these activities, we require something some scheduler, right? This is Hadoop is providing one scheduler, which is Wuji. This is one of the workflow engine. With the help of this Wuji, you can schedule all the jobs to run one after the other job. Scoop job has to run after that Highway, based Kafka and Spark based on your project dependency. Who is one of the web-based user GUI console, which will be to run the SQL queries, or else you can run the Scoop jobs, big jobs, and these are all the things which you want to perform anything from the graphical user interface, GUI based web console. So for that one, that they have developed end users can interact easily to perform all Adobe ecosystem tool activities. They have developed something called as a UI. That is the purpose of this thing. So for all these things, basically Hive uses backend database is required, data warehousing concept. HBase is I think database is not required, and also Wuji is required. Who also is required. For that reason, what I am doing is I am creating some of the users and the databases. That is the command create username, and this is the password. So you just run, these are all the MySQL commands. You have to connect to the MySQL database. Yes, it is connected. After that, you run the grant all privileges. Then this thing, uh, grant all these things. Next is create database. Uh, is to create the database, create database name. After that, the flush privileges. It will get privileges get updated. FLUE. Yes, flush privileges. So now you see here show databases. You can able to sorry. Control if you click, you can come above first. Show databases, you click here. Yes, you can able to see the UZ database. If you want to connect to this UZ database, you what you do is use to see this thing. If any tables are there, you can able to see like show tables. Nothing is there, just I created database and user for just to be, while installing these softwares, it will ask the database username and the password. That is why I'm just setting up the passwords. Create user username, this thing identified password, grant all on 5 dot star to user. So I think that is the command on star dot star to. Yes, then flash at the end also, because you have not disconnected the MySQL session, but it is fine. You run also, it doesn't- at the end also it is enough. Again you run it, you can see Hive database also. Yes, sorry, sorry, I have not created Hive database. Still create database. I to run this show databases. Now you have Hive database also. That is what I did. Then the next is Ranger database. You just run the similar way. So I'm just Ranger is one of the authorization tool in a Hortonworks distribution, which will provide more granularity level security also. That is also will capture some of the data operations and all those information in the backend database. That is why I'm just which requires a database and username and password. That is why I have installed that also. And MySQL connector is required to connect to that MySQL database to run this command. Now activity is complete. So now if you run this MySQL hyphen connector, this will install the connector. With help of this connector only, all Hadoop ecosystem tools and everything which will be connected to the MySQL database. That is why this connector is required. And even the Scoop also will use the connectors, JDBC connector in the similar version. MySQL database, these are all the connector is required to connect to the database. Next is now the main picture came into the picture. Main hotbox installation came now. So now what we did is I will repeat again. We have done the EC2 instances we have launched from AWS cloud. After that we have defined one is Ambari server and another one is Ambari agent. And after that what we did is we connected to those machines. After that we have performed the prerequisites like SC Linux, transparent use pages, and stopping the firewalls, configuring the NTPD, STP, HTTPD, update, wget command, all prerequisites we have performed. After that, in Ambari agent, what we have done, Ambari agent also we have done the same prerequisites. After that, we have set up the passwordless SSH from the Ambari server to Ambari agent to connect the Ambari agent without any password. So that is the purpose of passwordless SSH. After that, once we done the passwordless SSH in Ambari agent, we have to install some of the Hadoop ecosystem tools which require backend database MySQL something. So I will be using MySQL database. So I have installed support MySQL RPMs RED packages and MySQL server package. After that, MySQL connector I have installed. Then my once I connected to the MySQL database, I have created have database under respective username and passwords. I have flushed the privileges. If that MySQL has been communicated, is done. What I am doing is I am going back to the Ambari Autosworks distribution. As I mentioned earlier, I will be showing this demo with the public repository. So that is why what we have to do is we have to download the public repository from the Autosworks distribution site. So for that, all the repo files in am.repos.d, because this is the Red Hat Linux operating system server. You have to go to this path and you just run the where you are. So yes, you are in etcm.repository. This is the pair where all the repositories will be maintained. So if you see the command public repository and hortonworksdistribution.com CentOS, this is the URL which has been provided by the Hortonworks. How you will get this thing is you can go to here and you search here .horton.com. Otherwise, you just type public repository. You get it. Repo Hortonworks. See here you can get this HTTP 3.01 public repository. So if you see here Apache Ambari installation, you can able to see public repository. See this is the place you can get it. Okay, this is that setting up the local repository. You have to download the respective tarbals. So this is the tarbals, but I will be going with the public repository. So you don't require all those things. You just come here and see what are the Hortonworks, those things. Okay, you just see hdb.repo and ambari.repo. This is the public repository. Okay, like that. So this is the like this, and you just click this thing and you just see yes. You can able to see ambari.repo is installed. Yes, ambari.repo has been downloaded from the respective Hortonworks website. Once this repo, you have to clean the repository. After that, you have for that you have to run the clean all command. Yes, sir. After that, you have to run the repo list. Then you can able to see that ambari.repo is showing reflecting or not. Yes, this is the one it is getting reflected. Yes. So here you have to see status should not be in a zero, or it should not show any error. If you want, I will open the Ampari.repo file. I will explain the content. Here it will, in the square brackets, they will define the 2.6.2 as this is the version which we are using, Ambari 2.6.2, and the SDP is 3.0. Name is, this is the repository name, and the base URL means from this repo website, it will go and connect it. So that one this do, and after that HTTPD 2.6.2 RPM GPG check client authentication. If you want to perform this thing, and enabled equal to 1 means a repository will be enabled. If you don't want to use this, if you have multiple repositories, and in that case real-time environment, they will make one as enabled which one you are using, and the other ones you will put it as zero, so that like that. And the GPG check is like a client authentication to make it happen. That one GPG check they will put. The base URL means to connect. It will go on the search that base URL, and it will connect, and it will take the respective repo md.xml and the repo data. From there, it will connect, take the respective softwares, and it will download and it will get installed. That is the use of that base URL. The base URL is very critical option when it comes to .repo file, Ambari .repo file, or whatever the repo file. Okay. Once next to .ambari is installed, you have done this thing. You run this thing again. Yum clean all commands you can run at it together. So this is the command yum clean all space yum make cache yum repo make list. It is getting installed. Yum clean all means it will just refreshing the yum repository, and yum after refreshing the repository, you have to run the yum repo list. So whatever the repository which you have downloaded, that is ambari.repo, it should reflect. So it is getting reflected as a repo ID and the repository name and name. This is the name which is name it is showing in the ambari.repo file which I have shown you earlier. So that one, once that has been done, after that, if you want to do what are the softwares with it, this is one more another command which will give some more additional information. Yum list all. The Ambari server is the this is the package 2.6.2, and Ambari agent is x86 is 32-bit operating system and 64-bit operating system, like that. So once this has been done, yeah, so Ampari.repo software we have downloaded is similar like in normal technology. So .repo file we have downloaded. So from Linux point of view, that is required. After that, we have to install the Ampari server. It is getting installed. See Postgres SQL, Postgres RPM, so all those installing. As I mentioned earlier, Ambari will use the default backend databases Postgres SQL. That is why this software they have providing this Postgres SQL RPMs also. RPMs means Red Hat Package Manager. In Linux, we will call .exe file to install any software or package. So here in Linux, people will call it package or RPM. They will use install the software. Here they will use install the package. Yes. Ambari is then we have to set up the Ambari server. So for that one, you have to use Ambari icon. Since we have installed Ambari server set icon, yes, I think is slave mode. It will without any our confirmation. It will do. That is why I'm using -yes option. Stale mode, I think. Stash mode or stale mode. I did not remember the full abbreviation of -s. But what it happened is, say, it is the latest versions. It is installing the JDK also, Java Development Kit, and JCE policies also it gets installed, and it is it is getting installed the Postgres SQL also. Yes, so Ambari server setup completed successfully. After that, what you do is you just check whether where is my Java, which Java. See user local bin. It is showing user this thing no Java icon version. See, I think it will show. Okay. not an issue. Then after that you just restart the Ambari server start. Once you done the restart Ambari server start, because we have set up the Ambari server, so you just start the Ambari server. To start the Ambari server, the command is ambari-server start. Yes, Ambari server is started. Whether Ambari server is started or not, you can run like this also. Ambari-server status. You can able to see Ambari server running. In Linux, for everything, there will be maintain one process ID. And this is the Ambari server, where run Ambari server and Ambari server dot process ID. So that is the one thing. And once anything is running, it will be having one process ID. That is the one it is showing. And you just run this command check config Ambari server on, so that while booting only, next time it will not create any problems. So next is what you have done is Ambari server you have installed. Now you are good to go to web-based console. Before going to web-based console, better always install one more packages which will avoid some issues while installing the SDP install. Now we have installed the Ambari .repo file we have downloaded from the Hortonworks website, and now we have installed the Ambari server. After that we have set up the Ambari server. After that we have started the Ambari this thing. So that is the thing. So you do this thing here. So I have installed these commands. That is the one I have done. After that, you do run the below commands to fix this thing. So to avoid that issue, I am executing now only. Okay. Now you go to the Hortonworks. Now Ambari server is installed. As I mentioned earlier, Ambari is web-based console. Now you can perform remaining tasks from the GUI-based console. So to launch into the GUI-based console, what is the one which we are using? Ambari server. It is an external network setup. That is why you have to use either public DNS or public. Both will work. So you just click this thing, and so if you see here security group, if you go here in the security group, already I have mentioned all traffic. So that is the reason, so that it will not create any problems in that is why I have defined that rule while launching the EC2. As I mentioned, Ambari server will run on with the web port number predefined is 8080. You have to provide that particular web-based port number, that is 8080. Yes, now it is logged in with Ambari portal. So now it will be having the default username, password is first time is admin. Okay, just click sign in, click never, not required. Click on launch installer. Cluster name give whatever you want, but I will be giving something called Balaji underscore Ambari. You can give the whatever you new name. Click on next. So this is the one SDP 2.6.0. We are using the latest one. SDP is nothing but Hortonworks distribution data, Hortonworks data platform, which install the all Hadoop ecosystem services and tools to manage and everything. So since I told you from the beginning only, I'm using public repository. You don't require to modify anything. So when you configure with the local repository, this video also I will share you after some days with the local repository. Okay, so I'm using public repository. You don't require to modify anything. Just click next. So here it will ask you the full qualified domain name, host name. So those are the things because I'm using Ambari thing. So So you just click a Hadoop -m. This is the Ambari agent host name you have to provide. By running this command, you can get it. You just place this thing. After that, you have to provide the PEM file, not the SSH key gen. So you have to provide that PEM file key concept. So that will be there here. I have already downloaded. You can just it will be there in download folder. So what you do is either you go to the download folder, downloads, sorry, Balaji underscore Kunde. Just to open it with the notepad plus plus, just copy this thing, entire thing. Sorry, something is happened. Don't save it. Again, open. Control E, Control C, just close it. Don't make any changes. This is the password PEM file which was generated by using EC2 instances launches when we generated. Just what you do is just copy these things and paste it. Here you use root user, not EC2. EC2 user we have used. If you want to use root user, you have to provide this root user also in sudoers files. So since I have not set any sudoers files, it is not required this thing. Just after that you use register under confirm. Now the agents and everything is installing. Now you can check the progress, how it is creating target directories, all those things. You can check the progress of the status here also. Backend, what are the commands, all those things it is getting those things. Since I am using only one agent machine, that is why I have given this thing. And another server already I have configured Ambari server installation, Ambari server setup, Ambari server installation, Ambari dot repo downloaded, Ambari, all those things I have done, and have started the Ambari server also. In the Ambari agent, we have to configure these all HDP Autonomous Data Platform to use all those Hadoop ecosystem tools like Scoop, Hive, HBase, whatever the services. It depends upon the project. People will go ahead and add the respective Hadoop services or ecosystem tools. So those things to use that one, this requires HDP. So to install the HDP, we require Ambari agent. So that Ambari agent fully qualified domain name I have provided. After that, I have provided the since I am running this Autonomous installation using Amazon Cloud. So that is why I have given the PEM file key content. After that, what I have done is I have given the EC2 user and the SSH key is 22. That is the port number for the SSH service. And the EC2 user why I have given is when you use the Red Hat Linux Amazon machine image, by default it will be with the EC2 user, not with the root user. That is why I have given the EC2 user. If you still want to root user, what you have to do is you have to log in with root user also. You have to provide in the vi sudoers file. There is will be one sudoers file. There you have to add root user. So then you can go with root user only. Since I have not added root user in the sudoers files, I have provided the EC2 user only. One second, it is got failed. Registration with the server is failed, that is okay. This is because of OpenSSL certificate, which is non issue. What we have see here, SSL certificate secure socket layer, we will be having something problem with the Red Hat Linux, these things. So to fix this issue, either we have to remove these repositories in the m.repo in the dot remove if etcm dot repos dot fail their dot repo files we have to remove. Instead of removing those things, since it is a red hat since this I also have mentioned in the document, I will try to fix this issue to avoid this issue, but for time being what I did is temporary fix or workaround. I have added one property which will solve this problem, social security issue. So that one what I did is I have installed this thing. So as I mentioned, the Ambari agent will be having one configuration file. You go to the file folder, go to the machine where Ambari agent you are using, just control L, you go to the this one, you click this thing. Yes, this is the one. Here if you see, here if you see clearly it is using Ambari agent, Ambari server IP address. So this one, how it has been done means that is we are doing everything from the web-based UL. It has taken from there. If you go here in this analysis section, security disease or analysis, just click on it, you add this property. So instead of adding this property, I will try to find out some other alternative approach to avoid this issue. That if you add this property, after that what you do is here also you just add, I think this property is not required, but anyhow, server side add this etc python certification verification.cmd also. Yeah, I think you will not get this kind of SSL certificate issues. It's disabled. Since you have changed our agent.ini file configuration file, it is always to restart the agent restart. Stopping it will, when you are doing restart means it will stop the service and it will start the service. Restart means stop and start. It is getting stopped now. After that it will get started. Yes, it gets started. Whether it started or not, what you can do is you can able to see, or else you can see here also Amari is successfully started, but you can see whether it is running or not. Yes, Ambari agent is running. So it is configuration changes has been made. After that, what you do is you go there again, run that command that will solve the issue. This will resolve the issue. Just retry file. Yes, this has been resolved, but I will try to find out why that issue is coming SSL certification issue. But anyhow, I have fixed the problem by adding that property in ambari-agent.ini. After that, since I have made changes in configuration file, I have restarted the Ambari agent machine. It is doing the host check. So once the host checks also, it is showing no errors, all those things. You see here, you can able to see nothing. See all host checks passed on one registered host. Click here to see the check results also. If you click these things, you can able to see here host checks found zero issues on zero host. This is always good to have the zero issues on zero host. Otherwise, there is a chance that your Ambari will not work as expected. So now ours is everything working as expected and perfectly fine. Just click on the next to continue further. Yes, since I'm using the, as I mentioned, HDP will uses all Hadoop ecosystem services. So it is not good to recommend it to install all these services. Each service has its own purpose. So like HDFS will use the storage to store the data into the one of the in the Hadoop environment. That one they will use this Hadoop distributed file system. Yarn means is just like MRV2 processing layer, whatever the data which you have stored in the Hadoop distributed file system that has to be processed, right? To process that particular data, we require a yarn application. This is just like a, it is just like an execution engine. It's similar to the MapReduce framework, and Hive is data warehousing. HBase is like data index. So I will not be covering each and everything here. These things I will explain in the next couple of videos, which I will go explain. just I will be removing all these things. I will be installing initial setup. So I will be using only storage processing layer, Hive, HDFS, and the yarn processing layer, storage layer and processing layer. And also I will use the scoop. This is just a client tool. It will not get create any issues. Zookeeper is required for HDFS because this is just like a fault tolerant and coordination service for the distributed applications. That is why Zookeeper is required. Ambari infra, I think it is not required. Ambari metrics, I think it is always to it will collect the metadata information from Ambari database. Atlas Kafka, all those things I will explain in the future videos. For time being, it is not required. Hortonworks Smart Sense tool is basically what it does is it will provide you the guidelines. So to maintain your Hortonworks production cluster or development cluster or UAT cluster or QA cluster to maintain in a healthy status. So Hortonworks is providing one of the services just like HST that is called Hortonworks Smart Sense tool. It will provide you the guidelines so that if you use this Hortonworks Smart Sense tool, it will give the bundles. So those bundle logs, if you give the support engineer of Hortonworks engineer, so that they can get the clear idea what is the problem. To basically what it does is to maintain your cluster to follow strictly these guidelines to make your cluster is in healthy state. So they will provide you the recommendations, guidelines, suggestions in the form of smart sensor, in the form of bundles. Those bundles, all those things you can get in the form of in the HST. Those things also I will cover in future. HST, how to configure HST, how to generate the smart sensor. There will be some supporting RPMs are there. Since I have only one machine, you don't require to make changes these things. Okay, one agent machine, it is okay. This is just a practice purpose. Click next. I have only one number agent. So these are all the services. Say stand name node is secondary name node, standby name node, and name node means name active name node. App timeline server is basically for streaming data applications in ATS. I think it will be used. Resource manager is it comes in a processing layer. Doc history server also comes in processing layer. Zookeeper server will come. It is just like a gatekeeper in an apartment. It is just like a watching the services and providing the status, and it will make then all the these things. In the name itself, it is there, right? In the zoo is there zoology zoo. There will be one keeper. Zookeeper will be there to monitor whoever is coming, whoever is not coming, and it just like monitoring and coordination service. The metrics collector is to collect all Ambari information metadata. It will be maintained in the Grafana is just like a dashboard to generate the report. So in visualized, there is a Kibana and Grafana. These are all the dashboards which you can able to create the dashboards and the reports. So you can send it to the persons whoever required. Activity analyzer, activity export is just like a Hortonworks tools. HST server is that I already explained. Hortonworks Master. Click next. Yes, initially, if you see go above, there will be having something called as Ambari metrics. It will ask the password, so you have to set the password. You just whenever you are doing in the big data platform, initial the most of the passwords will be first time admin. Just put admin. Yes. After that, I think one more thing is the smart sense also. It will you have to set the password. Click on activity analyzer. Here it is asking. Click on sorry, type it. Ad- Yes. Now next button is enabled. Just click next to proceed further. I will explain each and every component in the further future videos. I will not be covering all those each and every topic in depth. So this is just to show you the installation. Now my everything is almost completed, so it is showing the overview. See what is the admin name, cluster name, this is the name which I have given, and what are the repositories, public repositories which I have not removed. It is showing all those things. And what are the services? See HDFS I have whatever the services which I have chosen, to initial setup. HDFS is Hadoop distributed file system. In this, it will be having these are all the components. In Cloudera distribution, they will call as roles. When it comes to Ambari Hortonworks, they will people will call it as components. Data node is name node. These are all the one of the services. And when it comes to YARN, ATS application, app timeline server, node manager, resource manager. Scoop is a client tool. This is just like an ingestion tool to export the data from the RDBMS to sorry to import the data from MySQL or whatever the RDBMS relational database to Hadoop distributed file system. This ecosystem tool which will be used quite familiar if you are handling with the structured data. Zookeeper is just to fault tolerant. Ambari metrics to collect the metadata. Grafana is to create the dashboards. How this cluster you want to send some report CPU information and dashboard is like CPU, memory, and hard disk. All those metadata capture metrics information. If you want to do those things, you can generate by using this Grafana. You can create some dashboard. So that is the purpose of dashboard. That is what I know. And the smart senses I already provided explanation. Just click deploy. It is getting deployed. It is performing the tasks. It is getting installed. You can able to see the progress here also. Install activity analyzer, you click here and you click here also. You can see back end what is happening, all those things. Okay. Yeah. As soon as 100% is gets completed, now you can get the final window saying that Hortonworks installation gets completed and all Hadoop services and everything is up and running. Let's wait for a few more minutes so that we can wind up this video. It's still progressing fine, 23% before let it go fine. So as soon as you completed installation, I always recommended you go to installation instances. If you are not using if you are not performing any task and if you are not practicing anything, I always click on this next instances stop. If you put it in stop also, as far as I know, you can get the bill So you can able to see all those things builds and all those things. My building dashboard, click on this my building dashboard, you can able to see. So as I have given the demo, so I will, as soon as it gets completed, I will terminate it. As and when required, I will again do the same thing. I will reinstall all those things like that. I will in the next videos I will try to cover the how to install the Spark, how to install the Kafka and Kafka architecture, Kafka installation, and the Spark is architecture and the Spark installations, along with that the Cloudera installation and the Cloudera architecture and the configuration files. So those things I will try to explore more, and I will upload those videos in my YouTube channel. It's getting progress to fine, and it is reached till 55%. That is why it is always good to have the EC2 instances with the, if you have more money, you can use it to T2 X large, also extra large. It will provide you the 16 GB memory, which more be more faster as compared to this. Since I used EC2 instance is T2 large, it's like two CPUs or two cores with the 8 GB RAM instance. That is why it gets a little bit slower. So based on your budget and the limited requirement, you can go with the respective EC2 instance and go ahead and install the distributions. I would recommend to use either T2 large or T2 extra large, which is which is will be faster, and you can complete your troubleshooting or installations, configurations, or if you want to test try any scenarios based questions. So all those things, it is always good to go with the T2 large or T2 extra large. Okay, EC2 instances from the AWS cloud perspective. Say now executing the yarn MapReduce version service check. Whatever the components which you have configured here, customize the services. So all those are getting installed, and obviously after installing it gets started, and after that it is getting testing the, so whether those services are installed as up to as expected. Those are say it is perfectly installed and 100% succeeded. After that you just click on next. Yes, so if you want, you can take the print screen or these things. So these are all the things installed. After that, you just click OK, complete. Sorry. Yeah, my Hortonworks distribution number is web-based console is ready, and it is up and running fine. See, you can able to see HDFS, yeah, how much distributed file system used, how much memory, all those dashboard information. Along with that, see, these are all the Hadoop ecosystem tools which I have configured. HDFS, Yarn, MapReduce, which version, Scoop, Zookeeper, Ambari Metrics, Smarts. If you want to start or stop any services, you can able to do these things. If you want to add services, I will not be showing all those things. You can add service and you click on you can deploy into HDP, the Ambari service, Ambari web console. And apart from that, if you see some more basic information is like 1 second, it is getting refreshed. Yes. So when again, if you want to see the version, you just click here at Ambari. See, this is the version I have used when it comes to Ambari. If you want to see the stack versions of HDP, you can click on this thing, admin. There will be something tab called as a stack and version. So click on those things, click versions. Yes, this is the one HDP 2.6.50 I have used. This is not 3, HDP 2.6.5.0 and Ambari is 2.6. What is that? 2.6.0. This is the version I have used. I have installed. This is the version. If you want, you can use the latest version also. The based on the repository, it will get installed. That is fine. But almost all the latest versions will have the more features as compared to the previous versions. So that one, and you can able to see the Ambari and manage Ambari. If you go and bin and Ambari manage Ambari, there will be something called as Ambari views. So there you can able to create the views, all those things. You can manage all those things from the Ambari distribution only. So here you will be having Ambari views. That's what the users you can able to create groups, manage roles. So go to dashboard, users and groups. So deploy the views. If you want to deploy anything, views you can deploy it. Go to the dashboards and what are the versions. So remote clusters you can able to see what are the versions. How many versions if in my system currently I have installed only HTTP 2.6.5, 2.6 and Ambari is 2.6.0. That is one current version. If you have more versions, it will show more than one, and the one which is latest that will show as a current like that. So I have only one version. That's thing. So thank you so much, guys. This is about the Hortonworks distribution installation and how to install the Hortonworks distribution by using the AWS cloud. So I will be with this I can conclude this and please subscribe my channel and if any comments and reviews if anything is my explanation is not that good or anything is lagging, please feel free to post your queries in the my subscribe channel so that I will try to response as and when I am available. So with it, I can conclude my YouTube this presentation regarding the Hortonworks distribution. I will soon, very soon, I am going to upload the Cloudera installation and how to integrate the Active Directory with the Cloudera, Active Directory installation with Kerberos with both in Hortonworks and Cloudera, and I will show the Spark and the Kafka installations. I will show you the Scoop and the Hive presentations. Apart from that, I will show you the remaining other stuff. So whatever is mainly required from the Hadoop administration perspective. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this one, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye.